The music industry. A recording industry professional traditionally works in a studio specifically designed to capture music as heard on a CD or MP3, for example, or spoken word as you might hear in a radio or TV commercial. While the engineers and producers are the professionals who actually record sound, many other professionals are involved in the recording business, including those who make music, those who publicize music, and those who distribute and sell the recorded product. There are related careers in broadcasting for professionals who record music for television, film, and radio, and those who handle the actual broadcasting of sound. The recording industry right now is adjusting to major changes. At its foundation, the recording industry has been the music business, which has most recently relied on the sales of CDs to generate a profit. But with the invention of downloadable music, the business model began to change. Consumers were suddenly able to share music freely and easily via the internet. The recording industry has been grappling with how to handle the widespread phenomenon of music downloads and how to best make a profit. As the popularity of the new music format has grown, CD sales have plummeted. Nielsen Co. reported total album sales at 428.4 million units in 2008, down from 500.5 million in 2007 and 942.5 million in 2000. PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the world's largest professional services firms, predicts a contraction of 4.4% annually. From services firms predicts a contraction of 4.4% annually from £9 billion in 2008 to £7.2 billion in 2013 for the recorded music business, while physically distributed music will decline from £6.2 billion in 2008 to just £2.1 billion in 2013. Digital distribution will see a compound annual increase of 12.5% to £5.1 billion in 2013. PricewaterhouseCoopers also forecasts that digital music will overtake physical music by 2011. Those in the business have faced many questions about how to best control the illegal sharing of music, how to sell these digital audio files, and how to expand business to accommodate for the drop in CD sales. Opportunities have come through different channels, placing more music in films, TV shows, and commercials, incorporating music in computer and console games, and making music available for cell phone applications. Professionals have had to think more creatively and diversify their skills to succeed. I'll look at current sales salaries and wages. According to simplyhire.com, the average salary in the recording industry is £45,000, but the range of wages is very diverse depending on the position. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the demand of positions in the recording industry is expected to grow about as fast as the average for all positions through 2014. Though competition is expected to be strong, many positions will open up from turnover and expanded growth in the recording industry itself. Now we look at hours and working conditions. If you have ever been in a professional recording studio, you should know that most share similar qualities. They are clean, temperature controlled, environments designed to protect expensive audio equipment. They can surprisingly quiet in most rooms because recording engineers do not want to record ambient or outside noises when they are in session. Most have comfortable couches and a lounging area where artists can take a break, and most come equipped with kitchen so artists can easily stop for food and drink. Typically, studios have at least 3 workrooms. One is the room where music is created, often referred to as the live room. This is where the musicians set up and play and sing into microphones. This is also the room that studio architects must devote the most time to in order to achieve ideal acoustic conditions. The second room is called the control room. This is where the engineer operates the mixing console, computers, and multi-track recorder. The third room is called the machine room. It is where noisier equipment is stored so it does not disrupt a recording session. Many recording studios also have a vocal booth, a small room designed especially for voice recording. A vocal booth is a type of isolation booth which keeps out foreign sounds. Studios may also have a room dedicated to editing and mixing. Those stepping into a recording industry career should realize that a lot of the work is project-oriented. This means that when there is a project, the hours can be very long to meet deadlines. However, it also means that there can be long stretches without work in between projects. A typically project day for a recording industry professional begins with the opening of the studio between 8 and 9 a.m. to get ready for the day's session. The studio manager will review what clients are coming in to record at what time. He or she will make sure that the recording technicians prepare each room in advance so each facility is ready to go when the clients arrive. This may mean setting up microphones, amplifiers, or other musical equipment. Along with a recording engineer, the technicians run tests to make sure that all equipment is functioning correctly. They also check to see that everything is looking neat and clean. The garbage is thrown out and there is adequate food and drink on hand in the kitchen to keep clients fueled throughout the recording process. Often musicians will not come into a recording session until mid-morning, so technicians tend to have time to get equipment ready and room conditions in top shape. When the clients arrive, the recording engineers and possibly the assistant engineers and technicians will review with the client that they hope to achieve that day. If the client is a musical act with a producer, the producer may set the agenda for what needs to be accomplished. Before actual recording starts, engineers will typically create a channel list, which indicates what audio information is being recorded on each specific channel on the mixing board in the control room. For example, the lead vocal may be on channel 1, the guitar on channel 2, the bass on channel 3, and so on. With everything clearly noted, engineers can easily bring up volumes and add effects on the different audio inputs as they record. Meanwhile, technicians may be in the live room with the musicians, assuring that microphones are properly connected and placed so they are picked up the audio. Engineers and assistants may discuss what types of microphones are best for each sonic element being recorded, it be drums, piano, voice, or another component. While all microphones in place, the engineer checks level, effects, and overall sound to make sure everything is right before hitting the recording button. Some of the technical audio elements to check are the EQ, phase difference between mics, and loudness, so levels are not going into the red. Also, if a group is recording, everyone will have to be able to hear each other in the headphones, so an engineer will check that there is good headphone mix for all recording. It can easily take 2 to 2.5 hours simply to get everything set up, sound checked, and functioning properly before the actual recording starts. The engineer gives a signal and the artist will perform, sing, play music, read lines, depending on what the project is. Typically, if a band is being recorded live in the room, they will play the songs through a few times, and then the engineer will have the band come into the control room to listen. Sometimes, an engineer will want to focus on the rhythm track first and get bass and drums perfect. That is often the foundation, and the guitar, vocals, and other instruments can be layered on top of that. Each time an act records is called a take, and the engineer, producer, and musical act can review which take is best and use that for the final. Sometimes in the final mix, an engineer will use beats from different takes to piece together the perfect final audio piece. After the act has recorded everything for the day and they pack up and leave, the assistant typically packs away the microphones, carefully coils up the microphone cables, and puts away the microphone stands. Another day may be devoted to mixing the recording, taking all the recorded elements, listening to them, and then bringing them together for a final mix. Often, a studio will have a room or rooms dedicated specifically to this purpose. Nowadays, it is typically to do the mix in a room with a computer equipped with Pro Tools software and good speakers to hear everything perfectly. Along the way, the mixing engineer adjusts levels and adds in effects. When final mixes are ready, he or she will make copies into a CD, which will be delivered to the client for review. The producer and musician may have feedback on a project, and the engineer will have to go back and adjust the mix. Often, projects are due by a certain deadline, and recording professionals will stay in the studio beyond the normal workday. While mixing and recording represent the bulk of a typical workday, some portions of the day may be devoted to reviewing audio files and seeing what can be discarded or what has to be carefully stored and backed up. Billing clients, contacting potential clients, considering marketing and advertising strategies, and organizing cleaning and testing equipment. Professionals involved in recording video game audio work in similar conditions as recording engineers. Film sound technicians may work mixing sound in a studio, but they also get to go out on location to set up microphones, hold microphones, and operate recording equipment. Television, radio, and film audio pros may work with directors, announcers, actors, and many others who are involved in creating the final show or movie. Those in the broadcast side of audio may work indoors in comfortable air-conditioned studios for TV and radio, adjusting levels and helping capture audio for broadcast. Finally, some audio projects take engineers and technicians out of the studio, mixing sound at a concert. For example, they take them to a huge venue full of people and force them to deal with dozens more behind the scenes. Some engineers will go on location with portable gear to record in store performance or college lectures. Some engineers often work nights when live performance often take place. Now, we are looking at the changing tune of the music business. The recording industry, as we know it, is in a state of change, and as the overall business changes, some new growing pains can be expected. On the downside, CDs, which count for a huge percent of recording industry profits, have been on a downward sales trend. They dipped about 16% in 2008 compared to 2007, according to Nielsen SoundScan. Since 2000, CD sales overall have plummeted about 45%. Music stores have been especially hard hit, and many large chains have been forced to scale back or close shop. Retail giant Tower Recorder closed down all its retail stores by 2006, and Virgin's mega stores shuttered all its mega stores in the United States by 2009. Big box retail stores such Target, Walmart, and Best Buy have reduced the floor space formerly devoted to selling CDs. The good news is that more music listeners are changing their habits and buying music in digital form. Sales of digital albums rose 27% from 2007 to 2008. Tower Records, although scaled back, maintains an online presence and sells music via the internet. The spread of high-speed broadband internet has made it easy for a consumer to download their favorite music. Many in the industry now have to make dramatic shifts as the business evolves, figuring out ways to sell and produce digital music files rather than hands-on product. The new industry landscape has forced major labels to scale back and reduce staff. So those entering the field have to keep an eye for opportunities in cutting-edge and growth areas such as digital downloads, phone applications, and licensing music for television and film. The biggest player in the digital music business is Apple's Tunes. Apple, under the leadership of Steve Jobs, became the technological innovator in this field. Apple made songs readily available to the public for 99% each. Own product, the iPod. I introduced on October 23rd, 2001, portable digital music player. The device lets users easily transfer music that they have downloaded from the computer to the iPod, so they can take the tunes with them wherever they go. Apple went on to create iPods capable of displaying both photos and videos. In a short 8 years, the iPod products have expanded to include the iPhone and iPod Touch. The iPod Touch gives the user access to the web through a wireless connection. This latest sophisticated technology lets the user instantly download music as well as games, applications, movies, and TV shows, all for a price, and all providing revenue streams for Apple and the labels that distribute and produce the music. Another popular format for downloadable music is the MP3. In 1999, the independent record company Sub Pop, which discovered the band Nirvana, became the first to distribute music using this technology, which compresses the sound of digital audio files by cutting details out of the audio information without disrupting how the music sounds to the average listener. Like iTunes, mp3.com also sells digital music over the internet. According to the New York Times, though, Apple commands an estimated 75% of digital music sales and 80% of digital audio player sales. Apple popularized the iPods players, and the popularity of those players drove the sales up for iTunes. Anyone in the industry today has to be aware of how iTunes has created its model for success. Many seek jobs supporting this technology or positions in firms that are developing similar digital technology. Those with the technical survey may be finding opportunities with related music sites such as Nextune, eMusic, and Samsung Media Studios. Critics of the recording industry say that major labels made a big mistake by fighting against digital technology as it was first introduced. Instead of embracing the new technological wave and figuring out how best to take advantage of it, music labels found themselves playing catch-up as a company like Apple gained a huge hold on the digital download business and alienating music fans in the process. Those working at record labels have to be savvy enough to know that deals made with iTunes are increasing the revenue stream to the label. Recent history shows that the career wave to the future will be focused on selling digital downloads and using them to promote music rather than on CD sales. The industry was a big labels blame illegal file sharing peer-to-peer or P2P network. According to 2009 data from Big Campaign, a company that tracks music downloading, more than 1 billion files are shared each month over P2P networks. The Recording Industry Association of America, that's RIAA, which represents Vivendi, SS, Universal Music Group, Sony Corps, Sony BMG Music Entertainment, EM1 Group Limited, and Warner Music Group, has taken the position that every recording of a song should create revenue for those who make the music. For 5 years, the RIAA employed a group called Media Sentry to find those who were uploading vast amounts of music. However, at the beginning of 2009, the RIAA dumped the service because of the public backlash. Many critics believe that the RIAA has become the enemy in the eyes of the music consumer by actively seeking to prosecute individuals sharing music files. For professionals in the recording industry, the question is how to best use downloadable music. Can labels generate a profit selling downloadable music files at a low price point? Also, those in the recording industry are learning from recent history that suing the small music consumer may not be the best approach to addressing illegal file sharing. Those in the field today have to think of creative solutions to this problem. For professionals in the recording industry, file sharing at this time has meant a reduction in opportunities as it has led to decreased revenue for record labels and artists. With more files shared, fewer CDs and other recorded matter have been bought. The job gains Ogi, a technology expert who bring the use of emerging technology on a product that is hugely popular. As Al Hangout at Dubai Studios points out, his recording studio found opportunities by recording the live concerts presented by Apple and iTunes in their store. Dubai saw where the opportunities were rising because of the emerging technology and took advantage of that. The advent of digital recording, editing, and broadcasting has greatly changed the work sound engineering, broadcast technicians, and radio operators. Software on desktop computers has replaced specialized electronic equipment in many recording and editing functions. This transition has forced technicians to learn computer networking and software skills. To control piracy or the illegal reproduction and selling of music, some record labels have used digital rights management, that is DRM technologies, DRM techniques use encryption to prevent illegal access and reproduction. Encryption might limit how many times a song can be played or what device it can be played on. But since Apple announced that all iTunes would be free of DRM, it seems that the future use of encryption and DRM is uncertain. While the industry is still trying to pursue legal measures against those who illegally download to combat its losses, it has been learning from its mistakes and changing tack. Labels have now been trying to do all they can to make digital music affordable and easily available to consumers. For example, record labels are teaming up with the cell phone providers and broadband internet companies to offer unlimited free music downloads. The trick is, the music is not really free. The customer is paying a bit extra when paying the phone or internet service in order to have the ability to download millions of songs. For a £1.38 flat tax on cable service on the Isle of Man, located in the Irish Sea and inhabited by about 80,000 people, users download as much music as they want without an extra charge. This is a model that companies are looking at to generate more income in the recording industry as a whole. Nokia also offers comes with music phones in some markets around the globe, but the free music downloads it offers are in reality included as built-in fees consumers must pay for the monthly service. PricewaterhouseCoopers, that is the PwC, predicts what digital music sold over mobile phone will actually decrease in future from £868 million in 2008 to £728 million by 2013. Bill Coburn, partner at PwC, attributed the expected decrease to an economic slowdown, shifting consumer behavior, and new ad-support revenue models. Cell phones have had a major impact on the music industry. The latest sophisticated models let users download tunes right into their phones. In 6 months at the end of 2008, Apple reported the downloading of more than 300 million iPhone applications. Music fans also want ringtones that play their favorite riffs, and these all come at a cost for the consumer. In terms of careers, this means more growth for those with the technical know-how to create phone applications, marketers who help sell the devices, and ultimately the recording engineers and musicians who provide the content that consumers play on these phones. As the entire music industry switches more to downloadable digital music as a revenue stream, they have found additional income in the new MP4 technology, the video version of the MP3. For a price, MORFAT SHIKY lovers can download his latest video directly into a phone or a video-equipped iPhone. Career seekers may find opportunities at record labels, coordinating the production of MP4 files and negotiating their sale through iTunes. The MP4 has also given new life to the video director, who now can reach a wider audience through his downloadable technology. Influential producer and co-head of Columbia Records, Rick Rubin, said in the September 2nd, 2007 article in the New York Times that the future of the music industry is in a subscription model where listeners pay for their music in a similar way that they pay for cable television. He envisions a world where the music fan pays about £20 to have full access to a virtual digital library of music. The listener could access the library through his or her iPhone, cell phone, computer, television, or even a special car radio. This is the type of forward thinking those in the industry have to consider. Career opportunities follow the emerging technologies, and those who understand consumer demand and the new methods of disruption can find opportunities in those areas. Rubin's idea is an innovative way of looking at how to generate income, and the industry needs people with similar ideas to adapt to a changing marketable. A model like this keeps a revenue stream coming to the record labels and studios, so the traditional careers such as music producer, recording engineer, musicians, audio technicians, and others can thrive. It also develops a demand for those who are actually creating digital technologies, for who are storing digital files and providing the means for distributing them, and marketing people who may be selling memberships to access digital music rather than marketing individual CDs. Now we shall go back to live music still pays. Live music still pays. Another strong area related to the recording industry has been live concerts. According to Pollstar, the touring industry trade magazine ticket sales in North America rose 7% from 2007 to 2008. Billboard Boxscore also reported worldwide concert industry growth of approximately £4 billion in 2008. It's interesting to note that it's not just the rock, rap, and pop music concerts that are selling tickets. In the October 3rd, 2008, Wall Street Journal, Leon Boschien, the president of Bard College, reported the number of concert venues, summer festivals, performing ensembles, and overall performances in classical music and opera has increased exponentially over the last 4 decades. There are currently nearly 400 professional orchestras in America, according to the League of American Orchestras, while 30 years ago there were 203. There are up to 500 youth orchestras, up from 63 in 1990. The number of orchestra concerts performed annually in the US has risen 24% in the past decade to 37,000. Ticket sale income from orchestra performances grew almost 18% to £608 million between the 2004 that is the May and 2005 June seasons. While classical music concerts depend on ticket sales to generate most revenue, rock concerts also sell mountains of t-shirts, posters, CDs, and other paraphernalia. And whenever there are sales, the recording industry wants a part of the action. New major label contracts with artists called 360 deals of the action. 360 deals give record label a percent of the artist's income from concerts and merchandise sales. T-shirt sales at concerts all along can generate healthy profits, according to About.com's music career information. Today, merchandise goes beyond the ordinary cotton T-shirt. Keith Urban is hawking T-shirts made from recycled plastic bottles. Radiohead has its T-shirt in children's size and offers female fans halter tops. Bands are also selling caps, tote bags, underwear, sunglasses, and temporary tattoos, all embezzles with their logos and band names. Not only are these items ringing up sales, they are a great form of publicity, with some basic concert t-shirts selling for as much as £55. The profits from the merchandise can really add up. Hoodies with a band logo can run as much as £75. Those in music publicity and promotion know that these products help spread awareness of musical acts. Those running a business and support these products to increase a label's bottom line. Graphic artists find opportunities in the design of these items. Unlike CD or tour data, merchandise sales figures are not readily available, since only some acts report those totals, with concert gross as reported in USA Today on July. That said, Bandleaders.com reports that Ozzy Osbourne grossed $35 million in concert sales in 2004 and another £15 million directly from merchandise sales. As live concerts continue to draw fans, experts are needed who can handle live sound mixing and recording. The opportunities range from controlling the sound in huge venues such as arenas and concert hall to hall, that is for clubs. The success of a live concert depends on the sound engineers. The best band in the world is going to sound horrible and perform horribly if the sound is not good. The industry depends on engineers' expertise, and those who know their stuff will stay gainfully employed. The techniques to make a live concert sound its best vary according to the type of performance, whether it is a rock concert, a solo artist, or a classical symphony. Recording a live performance can be more stressful than in studio recording because there is no room for mistakes. A recording engineer cannot ask a band playing before thousands of screaming fans to play something over if he or she does not have the right level of or is not getting a signal in a recording channel. Engineers who record live shows have to make sure that everything is perfect beforehand. They have to insist that the band, singer, or orchestra does a sound check so they can make sure all equipment is properly functioning and levels and tones are correct. If an engineer hears a guitar out of tune in a sound check, he or she can tell the guitarist to tune up in advance to ensure it sounds right on the recording. Recording engineers in this environment need the confidence and maturity to tell artists exactly what they need to make sure the sound is right. Stars from Justin Timberlake to Bob Dylan are willing to check equipment and microphone levels with the sound people because they know how much is at stake for getting it right. and they will respect the direction of sound person who is knowledgeable about getting good sound. Okay, we look at producing music in the modern world. As the music model for major labels is shifting, so is the industry for all those involved in various aspects of the music business, from the performers to the recording studios to those who market and promote the music. Recording studios have seen a dramatic shift in business, not just because of the swing from CDs to digital sales, but as a result of the rise of advanced home studios. Sophisticated computer programs have made it easier for more people to record and engineer their own recordings. Some artists are finding that they do not need access to an expensive, state-of-the-art studio, but can achieve some brilliant results in just a basement or bedroom home studio. Once the artist has made the investment in the equipment, a home studio can be cost-effective since studio time costs a lot and is often deducted by the label from the artist's contracted payment. Even major acts like the rock band and the Eels and Moby have home-produced music that sells. While home computers can now produce sounds that are fuller, richer, and more complex than was possible years ago, musical tastes are shifting as well. Music that sounds home-generated is aesthetic that many listeners now enjoy, and it does not always require sophisticated gear. The rapper Aesop Rock produced his first new albums using a turntable, a microphone, a sampling keyboard, and a couple instruments. He recorded it all into his computer using a Pro Tools setup. Pro Tools combines software and related hardware to record, edit, mix, and master through a Mac or PC computer. There are many software packages on the market today that can convert a home computer into a mini recording studio. In addition to Pro Tools, there are the programs GarageBand, Sound, and Audacity. Programs from Audacity are free to download. The DJ Moby has said that by recording at home, he does not have to worry about others showing up, and he can be a total egomaniacal, crazy dictator of his own sound, the New York Times reported in 2005. Wow. Creatively, however, the home producer may miss out on feedback from an engineer or even other musicians. The work can be insular and lonely. Many musicians do not want to work as their own technician, producer, and engineer. They would rather have others to do the work so they can focus entirely on the creative aspects of their art. When the artist pays a studio to record, he or she can feel more compelled to perform and have the sound and performance just right. Other people can be a good sounding board to help refine ideas. Creative friction can be a good thing. We look up to setting up and maintaining the modern studio. For those who run the studios and those who want to operate Pro Sounds home studios, The price for essential gear has dropped in certain areas. For example, high-quality microphones manufactured by Bassman Audio and Cascade microphones are much more affordable than they once were. Also, digital live consoles have improved, boosting the sound quality at live performances. Although digital recording is a modern method that allows people to easily record and mix on computers, analog recording is a service that most studios still offer. Audiophiles say that with analog recording, the sound wave from most resembles the sound wave of the original source. Phonograph records or vinyl and magnetic tapes are the means to store the continuous audio waves captured in analog recording. Digital recording breaks down the signal into bits of information. Studios can now easily store recorded information on computer hard drives, while in the old days studios' shelves were crammed with spools of magnetic tape. Traditional studios are not dead, but in today's climate, they have had to get creative and often expand the types of services they offer. Some successful studios that originally focused on recording pop, rock, and rap groups have developed business related to television, film, and advertising. Producer Bach Veen, in an interview in ProSound News, says that many TV shows are interested in cutting-edge music and sound design, which has opened up new opportunities for recording studios that can adapt. Vig says that sometimes studios can afford to be so picky and should take work from a clientele that may not be so prestigious. Even recording a local high school choir can bring a studio some needed income. Even as small bands turn to home studios and record labels cut back because of losses, there seems to be no end of the number of people who want to make music. So just surf around MySpace and you will find thousands of people vying to be recognized. Appreciated musical artists, from rappers to rockers to country crooners. To reach their goal, many want the best sound possible, and a studio with a track record of producing great sound albums can still do brick business, like this for Alta Records in Nakuru. For example, as we have just given the Alta Records in Nakuru studio, all the artists who have been recording here have reported a very great impact in the market. Some producers build a track record in popular music and always in demand. Ben Banyan, the producer for Alta Records in Nakuru, has been on demand because of the high quality music produced that he gives or artists are able to get from his studio. But even a studio with a strong musician client base may have to look beyond its core business. The Clubhouse is looking into working more on film soundtracks. Let us now look at music publishing or perishing. Wow. Because diversifying is a venue to employment for newcomers to the industry and greater profit for those already involved, recording industry jobs now often include involvement in music publishing. In fact, many music producers are also music publishers. Forbes magazine reported in the beginning of 2009 that even though CD sales numbers keep slipping, music publishers might still reap a profit. Publishers are in the business of promoting songs, getting deals for their use, and collecting publishing royalties. They collect money on songs that are licensed from them for movies, TVs, and advertising. Traditionally, publishing royalties are split 50-50, with half for the publisher and half for the songwriter. Publishers work with major performance and broadcast rights organizations, that is ASCAP or ASCAP, BMI, and SESAC. These groups collect money when a song is broadcast, performed in public, or played on a jukebox. Those who use the music pay a fee according to how they are using it. For example, a commercial radio station will pay ASCAP an annual license fee so it can play music, and the fee is based on how big the radio station is. So anytime you hear this man called MORFAT SHIKY on the radio, the composer and the publisher get paid a fee by the radio station. Cell phone service providers like Verizon are now also paying broadcast rights organizations for usage of music as cell phone ringtones. Some songs seem to remain eternally popular and bring in a huge revenue stream. The 1967 song Happy Together by the Turtle reportedly generates about $250,000 a year in licensing fees. Publishers have even found greeting cards a source of income. Many card manufacturers now insert a chip in the card, which then plays a portion of a song when opened. Publishers have struggled to get income from internet use of songs, and now some internet radio stations and online music providers are paying publishers a percentage of overall revenue. Those seeking a career in publishing or as a musician or composer have to be aware of all the latest ways revenue can be generated through broadcast and usage royalties. While some artists retain all their publishing rights, others think that publishers can help promote their work and generate even more income. While some artists retain all their publishing rights, others think that publishers can help promote their work and generate even more income. Many top publishers are so well connected in the entertainment industry that they know how to strike lucrative deals for the artists they work with. In the history of music, though the relationship between artists and publishers have ranged from very positive collaborations to acrimonious struggles for control, in 1964, the Beach Boys complained that their publisher, their father Murray Wilson, sold off the rights to their music for a song, so to speak. Artists such as Laura Nyro and Jimmy Webb, however, reportedly enjoyed their relationships with their publisher and were able to focus more on their music as a result. Little known or unknown songwriters may even be able to make a deal with a music publisher, especially if the publisher sees potential for a song being used in a movie or TV show. Or a publisher might regard a song as a potential hit for one of the established artists they represent. All said, publishing today is one of the shining points in the recording industry and a truly dependable source of revenue. As outlets in the media have grown, music usage has expanded. Movies, especially hip, new independent films, often want the most cutting-edge songs to grace their soundtracks. Securing a spot on the soundtrack for a popular movie can propel an unknown songwriter into the limelight and onto the music charts. Fame came to the artist Kimia Dawson in just that way when her music was featured in the hit independent movie Juno. While she was gaining attention as an independent artist, the popularity of the movie gave her a wave of media attention and introduced her music to many new listeners. The soundtrack to the movie topped Billboard's digital albums chart and reached number 8 on the Billboard 200 in the first week of the soundtrack's release. We will look at promotion on the cutting edge. Even though CD sales have been in a slum, the recording industry does not exist without the sale of recordings, and sales do not happen without advertising and promotion. While songs by established artists can receive wide attention upon release, many hit songs and groups start at a grassroots level. Early in the music business, buzz around a song might start at one radio station and spread to others, generating record sales as a result. While that still happens today, the internet has become one of the best ways of artists to gain fans and generate attention for their music. From UT and many other artists, every musician today needs a web page, and most benefit from having a MySpace page or Facebook page as well. MySpace, established in 2003, has become the networking site to go to for bands to post songs and information about themselves and then connect with the music fans and professionals in the industry. Recording studios, record labels, radio stations, and marketing firms have all established MySpace presence. MySpace works on the principle of linking a user to like-minded individuals. If you are in a band, for example, you connect with other bands and people you like, who then display a link to your music on their page. Once you start a link with others, more people discover you and become your virtual friends. In time, links to your band site can show up on hundreds or thousands of websites. Those numbers add up to amazing advertising, which lead to more product sales. MySpace even has a feature that allows users to download your music, paying a small fee for each song. Justine Veron, who goes by the name Bon Iver, is a great example of the power of the internet and MySpace when it comes to marketing. He is also a true do-it-yourself artist. In 2006, Vernon broke up with his longtime band and girlfriend and holed up in his parents' cabin in Wisconsin to recuperate from bout of monoclorosis and write some new music. Using a computer with recording software, a guitar, and a few drums, he recorded some very quiet, personal, emotionally charged songs that he posted on MySpace under the name Bon Iver, a corruption of the French phrase Bon Iver, or Good Right Winter. The songs caught on fast with music fans, and Vernon generated a lot of buzz on many of the independent music blogs. By the end of 2008, that is, the album he had made of these songs, titled Forever Ago, sold about 87,000 copies. Vernon has gone on to playing sold-out shows and having an appearance on the David Letterman show, all of his starting by posting a few songs on MySpace. Let us look at the future of radio in the age of the internet. Although the internet is definitely one of the most important tools artists and labels have today for promoting music, radio airplanes remains a major way to push sales in the recording industry. For those labels with major artists, radio still provides widespread listenership. Most stations play the biggest acts, the Black Eyed Peas, Amen and Kanye West. Critics complain that more and more radio sounds the same as a result. Also, over the years, businesses like Clear Channel have bought up radio stations and made them get live recordings of artists performing at a music festival in Miami, Florida. The company hired one of the Dubai's engineers to lead the project. For those in the industry, this arrangement can be profitable, but for music lovers and those trying to introduce new artists, the trend toward homogenization can be frustrating cement wall. So while it poses a challenge to musicians and recording studios who are eager provide opportunities to broadcast technicians, salespeople, marketers, DJs, and others. Again, the internet has provided an answer for those looking for more diverse music. Independent radio stations have opened on the internet for very little cost. They are not beholden to major labels, and they do not follow the dictates of a major broadcasting parent company such as Clear Channel. Nationally, radio listenership has risen from 229 million weekly listeners in 2004 to 235 million in 2008, according to Arbitron. However, a December 5th, 2008 article in the New York Times showed that the amount of time that is between 18 to 24 years old spent listening to radio from 1998 to 2007 had dropped by 18%. In terms of how this affects careers in the recording industries, there are certainly few radio stations that 20 years ago, had few opportunities in traditional radio broadcast. However, traditional radio listeners and potential listeners may be turning more to the internet to listen to the types of music they are interested in. According to the Qstream iMedia research via Hypebot, online music radio listenership increased 37.6% to 6.67 billion total hours from 2007 to 2008. The internet allows people to tune into exactly the type of music they want to hear. Pandora, an internet-based radio service, asks listeners to fill out a questionnaire about their musical taste and then tailors radio station to match exactly what they want to hear. When the iPhone included Pandora as one of its applications, listenership jumped from 20,000 a day to 40,000 a day. Pandora growing appeal has allowed the station to sell short 15-second commercials, which they sprinkle into their free playlists. For many looking to career opportunities in radio, the true growth may be coming from the internet and positions as disc jockeys, marketers, and music programmers may be available at online sites. Also, as more traditional radio stations bolster their online streaming capabilities, those in the field may find increased listenership through that traditional broadcast stations are seeing the internet streaming as a way of increasing listenership, which in turn keeps advertisers returning, which then keeps the disc jockey and broadcast engineers employed. Other development in the world of radio has come in the form of satellite radio, that is SR. The biggest player in the United States is Sirius XM radio, which resulted from the merger of XM satellite radio and Sirius satellite radio in the summer of 2008. SR works on a subscription basis. Customers pay to hear channels that provide the programs that matches their taste and interests. Because of the signal broadcast via satellite, listeners can tune in anywhere in the country. Many new cars are equipped with SR receivers, so listeners can enjoy their stations wherever they travel. SR, which its groups of niche listenership, has helped some new artists trying to gain exposure. To pull listeners with this new technology, SR paid out a huge sum of recruit to the humorous, raunchy DJs Howard Stern, who has a massive and fiercely loyal following. However, even with a celebrity like Stern board, SR has struggled to attract listeners, and as of late 2009, the financial viability of Sirius and XM were uncertain. So, those considering a career in radio may find opportunities in satellite radio and should keep a careful eye on how that reach develops. The technology is still very promising, but business model for satellite radio has yet to be proven. Finally, while radio still offers portability in car radios and carry-along electronics, the internet is gaining in that regard as more portable devices allow Wi-Fi access. Many people now own cell phones that provide access to a high-speed internet connection. Listeners can also take radio shows along with them in the form of podcasts. These are programs designed to be downloaded into an MP3 format and listened to on an iPod or similar device. A tech poll from the radio research firm Jacobs Media reported that the audience for broadcast is up about 87% each year among rock radio listeners. Of those polled, about 60% own an iPhone or other type of portable media player. A podcast is nothing more than a digital audio file, just like any other song or MP3 file on your computer. We look at recording for film and television. Recording for film and television. Those embarking on a career in the recording industry have to recognize the significant role that film and television has played in the recent years. The Disney Channel launched High School Musical, and that show has gone on to become a popular phenomenon. The album generated from that program became the top seller of 2006. American Idol has introduced the world to best-selling singers such as Kelly Clarkson and Chris Daughtry, acts that have their songs played on Gossip Girl and Grey's Anatomy generate more sales. Sound recording for film and TV is a very specific art and career as a specialty. A major motion picture or television program hires a sound editor at its helm to direct all the sound components. The sound editor takes all the music, dialogue, background noise, and sound effects and mixes them together so that it best supports the film. Digital recording is now the norm in motion pictures and television series, but sound effects specialists may use a classic analog Nagra tape recorder. The analog Nagra was the recording tool of choice for most films but stopped being used as digital recording took over. They are still especially good for recording extreme dynamic range, such as sounds like gunshots and explosions. The film and television industry relies on specialists who know how to hold the boom microphones and those who record the dialogue and ambient sounds. Sound experts pay close attention to synchronization, a method of timekeeping that ensures images and sound perfectly mesh. Cable and network TV, movies, and even highly produced web shows are driving the demand for trained recording and sound professionals. The gaming world, a new opportunity for audio engineers. Listen to this. If you have seen today's video games, you will know that many are like mini motion pictures and they often have a professional soundtrack to match. The music in a game like Halo enhances the mood and creates a rich ambience. The action hero games can have sweeping, majestic theme music, and the more cartoon-like games can have amusing score. Not only are people writing and recording music for the games, they are also recording elaborate sound effects. The professionals who put together all the sounds for these games are called sound designers. The booming gaming industry has opened up new outlets for publishers as well as they try to license music for computer, console, and web-based games. Publishers are thinking creatively, finding opportunities in the ringtone and karaoke markets. State-of-the-art computer games have also created many options for sound designers, composers, sound effects specialists, and the recording engineers and technicians who record the sounds and music created by these professionals. Compared to the overall recording industry, the gaming industry is red hot, and that is why many of those who are involved in recording and music-related careers are taking advantage of compatible opportunities in this area. According to NPD Group, video game sales were about £2 billion in 2008, which is more than double from the year before. Ken Kato studied digital audio recording in college and wound up designing sounds for games made by Microsoft. In addition to getting appropriate music and voice actors, Kato often goes to different locations to record sound. He has recorded race tracks and street sounds from around the world. To get the squishing and crunching sounds used in some fight scenes, Kato recorded himself stabbing, smashing, breaking, and hitting various fruits, vegetables, and meats. To get a great monstrous growl for a character, he recorded his tiny toy for Tyria and pitched down her growl until it became a deep, threatening rumble. The art of sound design has become so precise, requiring distinct programs and technology that colleges offer specific courses on how to master it. The popular console games Guitar Hero and Rock Band for playing stations 2 have also opened up opportunity for the recording industry as another outlet to license music and promote bands. Some popular bands such as Aerosmith and Metallica have standalone versions of the game. Kai Huang, the president of RedOctane.com, the official Guitar Hero store and publisher, said in USA Today that Aerosmith made more from sales of Guitar Hero than from sales of its last 2 albums combined. Being on a Guitar Hero game is great publicity, and those bands see their CD sales climb after being featured. This is the end of our part 1 on music industry.